Monday. Happy Wealthy Monday and the start of another week. Here we are. I am back from Atlanta. Was I in Atlanta? No, wait a second. It was Atlanta and then DC. So I'm back from DC and obviously I brought a friend, but none of that's going to stop the show. We're here this morning. Hang on a quick second. Let me do all the things over here. Here this morning to talk about all things wealth and kind of from a different perspective, why you might secretly not want to be wealthy, even though you have yourself totally 1,000% convinced that you do. I know I can relate, and I want to wait for more of you to join so I can get into where this came from. That's right. Good morning, wealthy sisters. I love that, Barbara. So hey, Goddess Jackie Kilrain, message me. Literally could not get you off my mind this morning. Want to talk to you. All right, doubling down on using the Facebook Live to make connections. Coach Nad, Cheryl, all the people. Hello to Instagram over on here and everyone watching on YouTube. So here's the thing. When I say why secretly you might not want to be wealthy, I am sure that everyone who has been doing all the work, all the things, reading the books, watching the YouTube videos, paying for the coaching programs, will probably be a little bit rubbed the wrong way this morning. Like, Tasha, what do you mean? No, I really want to be wealthy. I'm certain of it. I'm doing everything to have it happen. And so am I. And yet, this is a very relevant conversation. As you know, we're getting ready for the Effortless Wealth Masterclass, which will be this Thursday at 12 Eastern. I'm sure everyone's registered. And like I've said, the last 3 weeks are really just preparation for that masterclass and getting you to think and process around some of the things that can support you in experiencing effortless wealth and some of the things that might be getting in the way. So here is how I came up with this topic. And actually, this is some work that we did when I think we went on our goddess retreat last year, May. We went to the DR and the goddesses were all floored when I brought up this activity for them. But it's one of the most powerful things that I have ever done. And so I was in a mastermind group several years ago with very high performers, high achieving women. And one of these women she was crushing it in business, really wanted to manifest a relationship. And so she took herself up and, got enrolled with this guru, sage, monk type person all the way across the world. It was a hefty investment, incredible travel to get there. And so she arrives, and the purpose of this retreat experience is to really help her master the things that would cause her to be in the relationship of her dreams. So she gets there, and the very first activity is grab your journal and write why you don't want to be in a relationship. And she was mad. She was angry. And as she's telling this to us, her mastermind sisters, I remember just being in complete awe, because I have been of the school of thought that you get really crystal clear about the things that you want and you just go all in for that thing. You journal about it, you visualize it, you take your inspired actions. You are all in committed to making sure your thoughts are full on around why you want the thing that you want, right? And so I was intrigued by this activity of writing out why you don't want it. And as she continued to share, it was like a light bulb went on and it all made sense to me. And I'm going to tell you, I am the number one culprit of this. When I go all in on wanting something, I put blinders on to everything else. And sometimes that might not be the best thing. And especially, let's talk about effortless wealth, especially when you are looking to manifest wealth and your definition of wealth, right? So it could be a financial number, it could be an extra $100,000 in your business, it could be your ideal clients, it could be your retirement fund looking a certain way, it could be that you have space and time to enjoy life, it could be that you're just at peace mentally. Whatever is included, your body is healthy in your definition of wealth. And you feel as if, especially those of us who, part of our channel, one of our channels of wealth is our business. And when we look at that channel, we can see, feel, and experience that is just not going as effortlessly as we would like. And it's not happening in the time frame that we would like. And it's like, make this make sense. Something's off, you know? And so if that's you and you're having that question, like, why is it not just like rolling? Why is it just like I'm doing all the right things? Why is it not happening with ease? Why is it not happening in the time frame that I would like? Then this conversation is going to be relevant to you. And here is why. Anything that you want to manifest, be it wealth, a relationship, health, spiritual ascension, and it's not occurring and you're not having the evidence of it manifesting in the way that you would like, you have to recognize that for every desire, no matter how much you want it, every desire carries a negative and a positive side to it, especially when you feel like you're not having the results that you desire. It may be that you need to start looking at the negative aspect of that desire, right? The shadow aspect. You want to start looking a little bit more closely at that. And you're probably like, Tasha, I don't have any negative sides. I know I want it 100%. And that was me. And that was the lady wanting a relationship. And, just to share with you, some of the things that came up for her was that during her teenage years, she was a nanny for a family that probably had, I think, several boys. And she had to take them to their sporting events, bring them in the car. They were a mess. They were always just gross and nasty. And she was like, men are nasty. Like, I have a very clean and sterile life. I have my home in check. And she was deep underneath wanting a relationship, thinking about sharing her space with a man who she had the experience connected to being around 5 or 6 boys, going from sporting events every afternoon, sweaty, dirty, a mess, coming in the car. Young boys are just young boys. And at her teenage years, she decided this is just gross. And here she is as an adult trying to manifest a relationship, still thinking like, ew, right? Now, that would never be on her radar with all the work she's doing to manifest a relationship, but it was present. And so for me, this was an eye opener. I really started to look at when things are not occurring at the pace and ease that I would like, it's time to pay attention to the negative aspects of this desire. Why don't I want it? Why don't I want it? And think about this. You have both the negative and the positive desire. And there are sides, you have both the negative and the positive aspects of a desire. And there are times when the negative aspect could very well be stronger than the positive one. So I want to give you a little illustration. I want you to think you walk out to the ocean and it is just a beautiful, bright, sunny, calm waters day. And you look out to sea and you just see, just gentle ripples out on the surface, right? This is the way the water looks. Now, what's interesting though is underneath, hang on a second. Oh, wait a second. All right, here we go. So underneath this beautiful, calm looking water are really choppy, rip tide currents, just really intense. And when you look at the surface, you don't see that. You just see the calm flowing water. But there probably be a sign that says caution, riptide, right? Or rip currents. And I want you to imagine that at all times we are manifesting and attracting and the energy of wealth is making its way, trying to flow to us. This is you experiencing wealth at the bottom. This is the energy of wealth trying to make its way to you. Your positive desire is great. But if this is stronger, your negative desire is stronger, then it's not as easy for this energetic flow of wealth to make its way to you, because it's got to get through all this negative current, negative energy. This is like nice, calm, positive. This is super negative. Now, this is always happening. This flow energetically, the universe is always trying to create wealth through us, abundance through us. Everybody's definition of wealth includes abundance in some form. And it's a natural flow. It's always happening. The issue is you. And if you have really strong negative aspects to your desire for wealth, then it is not as effortless for this flow to make its way in a timely manner with ease to you, because ultimately wealth is a frequency and it is responding. It comes to you and through your frequency for you to experience it. If you got all this going on in your energetic field, all of this negative going on in your energetic field, then it is not going to happen with the ease that is possible for you and me. So let's talk about that this morning. That's where I want to go. If actually, I want everyone watching to type this, whether you're watching live, watching the replay, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are, I want you to type this. Negative desire is still desire. Negative desire is still desire. We know that the universe, God, source, responds to our desires. And usually we talk a lot about our positive desires and the positive aspects of our desires. And we don't pay a lot of attention or give a lot of energy or do a lot of work to recognize that, well, maybe I've got some negative aspects to this going on. So negative desire is still desire. And unaddressed, if you are not addressing this, it's actually many times more powerfully attracting what you want. This negative energy, these limiting beliefs, these I don't want it and why I don't want it, is actually going to be the filter through which this wealth frequency processes. And by the time it comes to you, it is going to show up as a match for this, not this positive aspect of your desire, right? So your limiting beliefs about why it can't happen, all of that is going to show up in how you experience wealth. And that's why it sometimes is not effortless and sometimes why it takes long. So that's right, Barbara. It runs through you. Wealth is an energetic frequency that runs through you. And on the other side of running through you, it creates the experience of wealth that is a match for the stronger aspect of your desire. If it's more positive, you get that as the result. If it's very negative and you actually don't want it very strongly and you're not addressing it, then you get the result of that on the other side, right? So is this making sense to everyone? Is this making sense to everyone? Like, are you, hopefully, I love that Deanna says and those negative desires multiply too. Left unchecked, it's like weeds. They just multiply. That's really great, Deanna. Thank you for adding that. So why wouldn't you want wealth? You're like, Tasha, that doesn't make sense. Wealth is good. It creates the experiences that I want in life. I'm doing all this work. I'm investing in all these things. It's not natural for me to think that I don't want it. And I get that because that was me. But this morning, I'm going to inspire you to hear this conversation in a way you've never heard it and commit to grabbing your journal and addressing it. especially if you know you will be here on Thursday for this masterclass. You want to come into this masterclass with everything that I have to share with you a little bit cleared up with all of this as best that you can, so that the knowledge and information and the downloads that I have prepared for you can filter through you with a lot more ease and alignment. Because I'm assuming you signed up for that masterclass because you want to experience effortless wealth, right? So let's take the time to do the work today to clean this all up as much as you possibly can. And so let's look at it. Give yourself some space to be honest with yourself. One of the things that's required in this work is self honesty. And you hear me say it all the time. I am constantly like, Tasha, what's going on here? Like, I literally just, it's like I open myself up and I look within and I go, Tasha, just like be real. Nobody is here to judge you or to criticize you. But if you're not willing to be honest with yourself about this, then we're not going to get the results that we want. So, basic foundational action is the willingness to be honest with yourself. And just remember, this might not be apparent to you. So, the activity is to make a list of 30 reasons. And I'm going to tell you why I say that number 30 reasons why you do not want to be wealthy. And you're like, Tasha, that doesn't make sense. I can't even think of one. And I'm going to tell you, like I told the goddesses when we were on that retreat, do not come back until you have gotten to 30. And some of them were just like, this, I can't think of one. And what do you mean? And with time, as they really became honest with themselves, they got to 30. And the reason why I say don't make a list of 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 is sometimes you have to get way below the surface, way deep in being honest with yourself, and then it will come out. So, maybe number 1 is really superficial, right? I do not want to be wealthy because a lot of money scares me. And that might be number 1. And the more you write and the deeper you go and the more you open yourself up to the truth, is the more opportunity you're going to get to see for yourself with your spiritual eyes what is hidden underneath your beautiful affirmations and intentions and goals that you've written, and why it's not happening. It's in the current. It's in the reasons why, the negative aspects of your desire, and you have to bring it to the light, right? So honesty and awareness, so true. Deanna was there. Tiana was at the event. She goes, I was like, Tasha is tripping. Then within 5 minutes, she had like 20 of them. And one of Deanna's was really powerful. I just want to inspire you in saying that the answer that you have been seeking, the reason why it hasn't made sense for you, is going to show up today in your answering this activity. Make yourself make a list of 30. Do not stop until you get to 30. So I want to just share some of the things that I have seen in my own experience and some of my clients. And I'm actually going to pose it to you as a question. When you go to answer why you secretly don't want wealth, I want you to think about, how does it keep you safe to not be wealthy? Ask yourself that question. How does it keep me safe to not be wealthy? That's going to help you see. A lot of people actually are writing and doing all the things to have wealth, but they don't really deep down want to live outside of their comfort zone. Wealth is outside of their comfort zone. And so not being wealthy keeps you safe. And there's a ton of layers to that one around, how does it keep me safe? It keeps me living in the me that I know. It keeps me as the me that I know right now. I get to play under the radar. So that's number 1. Ask yourself, how does not being wealthy keep me safe? Because we are driven by the need to be safe. So think about that. Yeah, Deanna Shaw says that's deep. How does it keep me safe to not be wealthy? Thanks, Deanna, and everyone else typing out the questions. Another one is, how would it cause change in my life? How would it cause change in my life? And I know for me, um, I remember when I got an opportunity to create $250,000 a month in my life, and I was certain I could do it and it was possible. And I went and I shared it with my ex-husband, and he was like, "You are crazy." And what I saw was the disruption in our marriage and what it would cause if I pursued that. And so the change that would happen, the, just the there's so much I want to say. And I'm like, Tasha, if you go down this dark rabbit hole, it's going to be 45 more minutes. But I just take that story at surface level and look at yourself and ask, what are some of the things that would change? And secretly, you fear that change. You don't want to disrupt the status quo. The change scares the heck out of you, especially if you know it's going to affect relationships. And it might not even be a romantic relationship. It could be, it's going to affect, the cultural norms that I have, the spiritual norms that I have in my family. Nobody else is this, whatever it is. It's going to take you way outside of your comfort zone, disrupt the norms, and it scares you. You may make more money than anybody else in your family. A lot of women have issues around, oh my gosh, the idea that I could make more than my father, right? It would be such a dishonor to him. So you got to really look at this stuff. Another thing, when I think about how does it make me safe, I remember there was a time where I was so afraid of losing the current income, the actual, here is the dollars and cents, is guaranteed to you every month. I was so afraid of losing that finite known income that I was not really going after the things that would make me wealthy, because that fear said, well, you can be wealthy, but that's an unknown. This is very known. Stay in your safety zone, right? So really sit for a minute and think about some of these things. How does it keep you in the identity that you currently associate yourself with? Let me call myself out on the carpet right now. The answer to this for me was, I had an identity that says, I can't do it. It doesn't work for me. I'm not like so and so. I'm going to have to change who I am because I see so and so doing it this certain way, becoming wealthy, and it's working. So clearly that's what I have to do too. And I'm just humble Tasha. I'm just humble, authentic Tasha. And one of my other identities that was keeping me from becoming wealthy, and why I secretly did not want it, was that I loved my victim identity. Like I was, you know, I was like in an intimate relationship with her. And the victim identity was me and who I knew myself to be. And so the idea that I was going to have to give up victim and take responsibility and really say, I'm here to create wealth and it's my doing to do the work to clean this up. And I'm not going to hold on to this victim. I can't do it. I'm not like so and so. I don't have what it takes. Like the whole victim thing has just got to go. Like, but for 30 plus 40 plus years, I was so aligned to that version of my identity that it was not very obvious to me that that was playing out, and that I was holding on more passionately to her than I was to the version of me that would be wealthy. And not wanting to give her up was a secret reason for not going after the things that needed me to become wealthy. So that's another one that you get to look at. Maybe your fear of inadequacy with a large sum of money. Will I be able to manage it? Will I be able to keep it? I have a lot of history in my past where I had a ton of money, then I lost it. I have no proof that I'm really good with large sums of money. Yes, I want to be wealthy, but I'm not really even managing the $50, $100, $200,000 that I have right now well. And so if I have that, that's going to require a lot of responsibility. There are so many women who, when we get to this level of honesty, say, Tasha, I'm scared if I will know how to manage it well so that I can keep it or grow it. I really just don't know. I feel inadequate with the thought of a lot of wealth. And so getting um, can getting the truth out of you is really powerful. Kendra says, I've seen wealthy people be more selfish than caring. And so that is, Kendra, something that you get to look at. So that's what you've seen. And are you afraid that you'll become selfish? Are you afraid that people will start wanting to use you for money? Are you afraid that you won't be able to really assess the true relationships in your life because you are now wealthy? Would you rather not have to deal with that? So these people that are here are my ride or die, and they are authentic and they're in it for me, and I know their hearts are pure because I have no money. I have nothing they want. And so like I like that feeling, right? So we really do all get to look at that. Fear of what you'll have to give up. I know for me, for a long time, my narrative was it's love or money. And I'm afraid that if I become wealthy, it means I lose love. So it's love or money. Fear of losing wealth is also very real. So I've given you a lot of different things for you to digest and really look through the lens of, why don't I want it? Why do I secretly not want to be wealthy? And I don't care if you're like, Tasha, there's nothing, I have zero. Make yourself do this, because it's going to shock you to see. And some of us have buried it so deeply that it is probably going to take you a few days to get to it. This is really powerful work. Wealth is a frequency, it is a substance. It turns into form based on how it filters through you. Wealth is a frequency. Your life experience of wealth is dependent on how this frequency filters through you. Like it's just like an energy that filters through you, and then it turns into form. It turns into dollars and cents. It turns into the business of your dreams. It turns into the net worth that you desire. It turns into the luxury travel that you want. Whatever is encompassed in wealth is the form that represents this frequency. It's just energy. It just flows through you. But as it flows through you, it has to be filtered through your limitations, your beliefs, your secret desires of why you don't want it. And so I want you to imagine it's like this pure light, and it just filters through you. It's just like this beautiful radiant light, and it gets to you, it gets to the surface, your affirmations, your intentions, your desires, your visualizations, your manifested board, and then it starts going into the depth of you, and it just gets murky. It's just no longer that pure light. It just starts to get murky. It starts to filter through all of that. It can't come out on the other side. It's just like, oh my gosh, there's so much muck in here. And then by the time it eventually makes it through all of that, it's just like a fraction of this powerful frequency called wealth. And the time that it takes to get through all of that, and the form that it takes on the other side of it, is a reflection of what's going on for you in the middle. So does that make sense to you all? I sincerely hope that this really yeah, Jackie, murky, great analogy. I really hope that this was an eye opener for you. I sincerely hope that you believe that this is some of the greatest work that you can do. I'm just going to say it plain and straight. Working hard in your business to create wealth is the most inefficient thing that you can do, and it's going to make it harder and take longer if you don't have this stuff sorted out. So for me, and just ask yourself if this makes sense to you, right? When you are working hard, you are literally in here fighting all of this. So you are taking a lot of effort and energy, and even as hard as you work, you can't outwork this. You can't outwork it. So now you're exhausted. Now you're frustrated. Now you're disappointed. Now you're, like all of those low vibration energy. For me, myself, and I, the most powerful work that I can do is to clear this up because I want this filtering through me. I want this energy creating my result versus me spending my time doing things that my logical mind says make sense to do in business, while this is even more powerful than any work I could do. Now I'm working harder because I'm working against this, right? So I truly hope that if you are desiring effortless wealth, you see the value of coming to this masterclass and doing this work. If you're not yet registered, go ahead and type the word flow. Come, it's $8.88. I think that is the best investment you can make. And you want to make sure that you are signed up for the replay. I think it's an extra $22, means you're going to have the masterclass to listen to for life. I know for me, I have some mentors. I have their stuff on replay because it was so deep. There are things I'm still listening to from classes I took 3 or 4 years ago, still processing. This is one of those classes. Make sure you have the $22 extra thing so that you get the replay for life and all of the other bonuses and the meditations, all that stuff, right? But you want to come learn about the quantum physics of this process. Use physics, the science, to create the change. You want to come learn about the 5 wealth archetypes and really see, again, which identity are you operating from? I know for me, there are moments where I am in both, but because I understand these archetypes and how I'm identifying as them in regards to wealth, I know, like Tasha, stop. You got to get over here to this one, right? One of the ones is the Jamaican market woman. And I personalized it so that when I explain it to you, it's from my authentic life experience and an observation that I have made. And so you are going to have this image in your life for the rest of your life. And you're going to be like, am I being the Jamaican market woman right now? Right? So you want to come hear about these 5 archetypes. And then at the end, I'm literally going to show you how to change 2 things that you are already doing. Just a simple shift is going to change everything for you in how you relate to wealth. I want you to, again, if you're not yet registered, go ahead and type the word flow. Make sure you got yourself registered through Facebook Messenger. So go to Facebook Messenger and you will see a message from me to finish the registration process. Get yourself registered, get all the downloads, the workbooks, the Zoom links, the opportunity to get the lifetime replay, all of it. And I'll see you Thursday at 12 Eastern. But for today, do not do anything else until you take the time to write out the 30 reasons why you don't want to be wealthy. Mwah. All my love to y'all. Go have an amazing Monday, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye, everyone.